Hey there, friends. I wanted to pass on a little bit of a hat tip to Gaston Glock. Whether or not you have heard, Gaston Glock has passed away. Gaston Glock, for everything you may or may not think about Glock firearms, positive or negative, he did a lot for the gun industry, more specifically the handgun industry. I'm not putting him on that same level as John Browning because their minds just didn't work in those areas. John Browning created things where I look at Gaston Glock as, I hate to use this term, but refined things. I'm not going to use perfected things. Refined things. Not saying that the Glock striker fired is better than a 1911. This is not the place for that argument. Gaston Glock took something and said, I think I can make that particular one different and maybe better. And certainly he did, because the numbers don't lie as far as looking at some of the things that have come about as far as law enforcement, military, and even us. I mean, I carry a striker fired almost daily. You will rarely see me carrying anything besides a striker fired gun. Would somebody else have come along with that whole concept? There's an argument that HK already did at some point. But certainly Gaston Glock put that whole striker fired industry on the map. And anybody in the last probably 20, 25 years who has put out a striker fired pistol has pretty much modeled it after a Glock. Yes, they've fixed some things like the grip angle and things like that, but there's no doubt they were seeking a piece of that Glock striker fired pie whenever they put their striker fired product out there. You will find me regularly carrying a Glock. This is my Glock 19. That is my favorite pistol by them. This is actually in my, this is a weapons light holding holster by Falco that I carry in when I'm winter carrying down here in Louisiana. I wanted to show you something to show you how long I've been a fan of Glock. They are not my favorite firearm, but oddly I have more Glocks than any other name brand. Weird. But they're not my favorite pistol. They are one of my more reliable pistols that I will trust my own family's safety to. This pistol right here is a Glock 23 in .40 caliber. You will notice that back in the day, that the early to mid 90s, 40 Smith & Wesson was all the craze. It's the new thing, the FBI, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. I was a young man in my 20s back then, and oddly enough, in this particular pistol, this is the first pistol that I ever purchased. The first handgun that I ever bought was this Glock 23. You can tell when I bought my Glock 23 by looking at the magazine that came with it. Look at that. This pistol was bought during the quote-unquote assault weapons ban of the 90s. This is a 10-round magazine. This came with my Glock 23 back then. I keep this as a reminder as to what the wackos on the far left are trying to do to us. The gun is obviously in very good condition. This was the first pistol I ever bought with my own money, so I treated it very, very well. I just thought it was kind of cool that it's in the condition that it's in, and of course I'm keeping the 10-round magazine in it. That's how long I have trusted my safety to Glock. Now, do I trust my safety to other brands? Yes, of course. 6 Hour, you name it. I have plenty of handguns that I will carry for self-defense. But I always find myself going back to something in this same size. Of course, I have two 19s right here, or two 19 size, my 23 that I originally bought, and of course my 19 now in 9mm. So that's the size gun that I like most. If they were to put out a Glock 19, of course it would be titled something else, numbered something else, with an appropriate angle to it, grip angle, that probably would be my favorite gun. Just saying, Glock. But the whole reason why I say all this is because Gaston Glock, without him stepping outside of the box and not being afraid to be innovative, you know, I know people rag on the Glock system and all that kind of stuff all the time. Hey, that's on you guys. I know what I think of it, and I know what the majority of the general population thinks of it. And Gaston Glock doing what he did, to me, opened up doors for a lot of other companies. It allowed people that might not have been into the older style firearms to maybe look at, hey, this is the new wave or whatever. Whatever the reason, there's a lot of new gun owners out there who have trusted their very first pistol purchase, just like I did, to Glock. And I think that's a testament to the company and, of course, to the man, Gaston Glock. Rest in peace, sir. Hopefully somebody does not destroy your company, because we know how things like this happen. When the leadership of a particular company passes on, family members usually gut the thing. So I'm crossing my fingers that that does not happen to Glock. So again, hat tip, a lot of respect to Gaston Glock, and I wish his family well during their time of loss for losing Mr. Glock.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.